November 1950. In the mountains of North Korea, a bitter wind signaled winter's arrival. U.S. Marines of the 1st Marine Division advanced toward the Chosin Reservoir, confidence high, dreaming of home by Christmas. The landscape was stark, beautiful, and deadly. The Marines were unknowingly walking into a trap. The Chosin Reservoir, surrounded by harsh terrain, was reached by a single narrow road, the only way in or out. As Thanksgiving neared, the North Korean army vanished. The Marines dug in, unaware tens of thousands of Chinese soldiers watched from the hills. The cold worsened, the trap was set, the storm was about to break. The Korean War erupted in June 1950 when North Korea invaded the South. UN forces led by the US were nearly pushed into the sea at Pusan. MacArthur's bold Incheon landing turned the tide, recapturing Seoul and driving the enemy north. But MacArthur's confidence led to overreach. He dismissed warnings that China would intervene. Despite clear signals from Mao Zedong, MacArthur ordered a rapid advance, splitting UN forces. The 1st Marine Division advanced independently, with General Smith slowing the pace to build up supplies. The Marines pressed on, unaware of the threat gathering in the mountains. The stage was set for disaster. The enemy was only waiting. The Marines were about to face the fight of their lives. The war was far from over. As November ended, a Siberian cold front gripped North Korea. Temperatures plunged to 40 below zero. Frostbite became as deadly as bullets. The Chinese People's Volunteer Army, hardened by years of war, moved silently through the mountains. Masters of camouflage and night attacks, they traveled light, striking like ghosts in the snow. Their thin uniforms offered little protection, but their resilience was unmatched. Many would freeze before firing a shot, but their commanders pressed on, willing to accept staggering losses. Their strategy overwhelmed the UN forces with sheer numbers. The Marines, isolated and outnumbered, were the prime target. On November 27, the silence shattered. Bugles, whistles, and horns signaled the Chinese assault. Tens of thousands swarmed from the hills, attacking in waves. The Marines, outnumbered 10-1, fought desperately to survive. The battle for the Chosin Reservoir had begun. The cold, the darkness, and the enemy closed in all at once. The Marines faced a nightmare, relentless attacks, freezing temperatures, and dwindling supplies. The fight would become a legend of survival. The dragon had awoken. The true test had arrived. The Chinese struck everywhere at once, surrounding the Marines at Udumni and Hagaruri. The goal: annihilate the 1st Marine Division. The Marines formed tight defensive perimeters, repelling wave after wave in brutal close combat. The single road south was blocked. Every hill became a fortress. At Hagaruri, the division's only airstrip was under siege, vital for evacuation and resupply. To the east, Task Force Faith, a U.S. Army unit, was surrounded and decimated. Their ordeal became one of the battle's greatest tragedies. General Smith faced a grim choice: attack north as ordered or fight south to survive. He chose survival. We are not retreating. We are attacking in a different direction. The Marine spirit was unbreakable. They would not surrender. The plan broke out, bringing their wounded and dead with them. The ring of steel tightened, but the Marines refused to yield. Every inch of ground was paid for in blood and courage. The battle became a test of willpower and endurance. The Marines' discipline and determination would decide their fate. The enemy was relentless, but so were the defenders. The fight for survival had only just begun. The breakout would become legendary. The road south from Udumni was a 14-mile gauntlet, Hellfire Valley. To escape, the Marines had to secure Toktong Pass. Captain William Barber's Fox Company, 240 men, held the pass against an entire Chinese regiment for 5 days. Surrounded, freezing, and low on supplies, they fought with unimaginable tenacity. The wounded froze in their foxholes. The dead were propped up to appear as defenders. Barber, wounded himself, refused evacuation. Their stand kept the road open for the main column. The rest of the Marines began their fighting withdrawal, an epic 79-hour march. Every yard was contested, every convoy ambushed. The Marines brought their wounded and dead, refusing to leave anyone behind. The ethos of "leave no man behind" was upheld at terrible cost. When the battered column reached Hagaruri, they were greeted as heroes. They had survived Hellfire Valley. The price was staggering, but the spirit of the Marines endured. The breakout was far from over. The next challenge awaited. The march south would test them again. The legend of Fox Company was born. Hagaruri offered only a brief respite. The division, still surrounded, faced a 56-mile journey to the sea. The remnants of Task Force Faith, shattered and frostbitten, joined the Marines, a grim reminder of the stakes. On December 6th, the breakout resumed. The airstrip at Hagaruri had evacuated thousands of wounded and brought in supplies. Now 10,000 men began the slow, icy march south. The road was a sheet of ice, the hills alive with enemy ambushes. Medics worked with frozen hands. Wounded men refused evacuation. Teamwork and shared suffering forged an unbreakable bond. Marine Corsair pilots provided crucial air support, braving treacherous conditions to strike enemy positions. After 2 days of relentless fighting, the column reached Kotori. The first part of the final breakout was complete, but the greatest obstacle still lay ahead: the destroyed bridge at Funchalen Pass. The Marines' discipline and air power had brought them this far. The final test would demand even more. The march south was a testament to endurance and brotherhood. The journey was not yet over. The fate of the division hung on a miracle. South of Kotori, the road crossed a deep gorge at Funchalen Pass. The bridge was destroyed. Escape seemed impossible. Without it, vehicles and wounded would be lost. Marine engineers requested an airdrop of portable bridge sections. U.S. Air Force C-119S braved enemy fire to deliver the massive steel pieces. Against all odds, the plan worked. In freezing conditions, under threat of attack, engineers built a new bridge in less than 2 days. The division's escape route was restored. One by one, vehicles and men crossed the makeshift span, staring down into the abyss. The Chinese, certain they had trapped the Marines, watched in disbelief as the column moved on. The bridging of Funchalen Pass was a miracle of courage and ingenuity. The last major obstacle was overcome. The road to the sea was open. The Marines had cheated death once more. The final march to Hungnam could begin. The division's survival was secured by determination and daring. The legend of the Miracle Bridge was born. The Marines pressed on to safety. The march to Hungnam was still hard, but the worst was over. On December 11th, the 1st Marines reached the port. The long, bloody breakout was complete. The men who emerged were changed, exhausted, frostbitten, but unbroken. The evacuation was massive. Over 100,000 soldiers and nearly as many refugees escaped. The cost was high, thousands of casualties, but the division survived as a fighting unit. The Chinese 9th Army Group was devastated, suffering catastrophic losses. The Battle of Chosin Reservoir became a defining moment for the Marine Corps. Outnumbered, surrounded, and freezing, the Marines fought their way out. Their discipline, courage, and brotherhood became legend. The story of the chosen few is now Marine Corps lore, a testament to endurance and sacrifice. The battle proved that leadership and willpower can overcome impossible odds. The heroism in those frozen mountains continues to inspire generations. The legacy of Chosin endures, a brutal chapter but an unforgettable one. The men were not defeated, they simply attacked in a different direction.